Hello there, many thanks for joining us on today's edition of Joy Asonye Live. On the show today, we welcome a young leader who embodies the fusion of business excellence and political vision. Stanley Osynachi Ihuoma is a seasoned business management expert with over 13 years of experience in operations management, process improvement, and leadership development. He is a CEO of Kolanut Abuja, COO of Deliver.ng, founder of OC's Livestock venture, and currently heads operations at several other organizations. Beyond the boardroom, Stanley is also a dynamic keynote speaker and consultant, recognized for his energetic and thought-provoking style. Now stepping into political space, he's passionate about inspiring Nigerian youth to see themselves as stakeholders in governance. At this time, when continuous voter registration is ongoing and conversations are already aligning towards 2027 elections, he brings a fresh perspective on bridging the gap between youth potential and national leadership. Today we'll be discussing youth apathy, participation in Nigeria's electoral processes, how young people can move from spectator to real change agents, and what strategic alignment could mean for the nation's democratic future. Out of your busy schedule, you found time to come be with us and discuss political issues. I welcome you.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's get straight to the matter. Voter registration is ongoing, and we had seen during local government elections in some states there was apathy. Young people, in fact, it was reported that young people were playing as if a bit uninterested about the process. When you see that and you look at the political landscape, we as young people have the numbers. And you looked at me funny. I consider myself a young person. When I look at the old people considering themselves youth, I think I'm very, very youth. But yeah, but how do you feel about it?
Why I smiled was not even because of your face actually, but it's just a funny scenario that happens within the country we've all found ourselves. We all cry of the government, cry of change, but that time we should make that possible to change. Everybody feels it's not my business, and the average Nigerian, what do they want to do? They want to leave Nigeria and go somewhere else. And I keep telling them, we'll keep preaching the gospel and I lived in this kind of life, so I could actually understand what they are fighting for, where they feel their votes are not counted. But truth be said, I'm a philosophy of life that says, no matter how you try, you keep trying till you get it right. I'm a problem seeker, so for me, if you want to solve a problem, you keep trying till you get it right. I will also urge, like, this is happening now. Everybody's going out there to register. At least get the voter's card. For me, that's the only weapon to fight whoever you want to fight. That's the only way to set up somebody right. And look at the way Nigerian political space is going, and it's giving room, especially the young people. We should all come here and make it our own business and not Choma's business, not even OC's business. Trust me.
Right. It's always the next person. It's always the next person's own. Yeah. I mean, but would you? I would like you to address the fact that Nigerians, young people, seem disillusioned. Are you in any way encouraged by the number of people who are registering? 1.3 new registrants. That's quite. Commendable.
Yeah, compared to other states, at least Abuja is actually trying to give the edge. Like, basically, I could see them urging up. I guess the whole scenario changed from the whole OB scenario where everybody feels okay. At some point, your vote can be counted. Yes, some people might actually say they casted that vote, but you could actually see the scenario where people were actually sacrificing not just their time, some sacrificed their resources and all they had just to make sure they're out there, cast their vote, or even be there till the vote are counted. So I guess that's why it's urging a lot of the, especially those are getting to 18, those have actually never had their voters card. They see this now as a jingle time for the young people. So I guess that's why you could actually see the drama moving, especially within the space of Abuja.
You are a young person who has carved a strong reputation in business management. I mean, I wanted to start reading your would I call it profile or citation now, but it's too long. I had to cut it short. What would you say are available lessons at a time when Nigerians, especially young people, are saying there are no jobs, the business environment is not favorable? I hear young people talk about all the wrong things about Nigeria, but you are here and you're doing well. So what's your lesson for young people listening?
You're the one that say I'm doing well. For me,
aren't you doing well? I mean, you're churning out business upon business.
No, for me at this point, I'm not doing well. I want to get higher and higher. So
you want to get what?
Yeah, I want to get at the top.
Way
Like,
higher.
I don't know where the top is actually. If I get to that point, I will go to the next point.
That's an interesting one. Yeah. So if you say that, my next question would be, what do you think is holding you from being at that top?
Basically, my story is actually a bit floating, because at some point I've tried the business that actually grounded, and I had to start again. I went back working. I never knew what my CV was. I never knew that I studied accounting at some point.
So
I never knew I was a 2-1 student in accounting, University of Jos. I just kept it one point. From youth service, I got a job somewhere, and life told me, I was like, I want to be a businessman. I want to get beyond one stage. So I started to own my own business at early age. I told people I saw my first 10 million. No, not the other way around, but
right.
the straight way. Yeah, I got it at 20.
Legitimate.
Yeah, 20,
legitimate.
20, yeah. And that was, but I crashed at 25, 26. We're down, gone.
Everything was back?
Yes. I was strolling on the street with Shotnika back again. I had to go out and get my CV. And I got a job with Jubaili as an accountant. I'm an accountant, but till then I was moved into operation. And this drive was owning a business, because I will tell you for free, any young people over there, that the only thing that will make you drive a Mercedes-Benz with full confident mind is if you do business. Because tell me the job that's going to give you that. How many jobs will pay you 10 million naira?
Exactly.
How many jobs will pay you 1 million naira? 1 million per annum is 12 million. So if you're collecting 12 million and you want to stay in Utako or Wuse, how much is your rent? 3 point something. If you're married, trust me, take out other lifestyles,
not to mention children.
You cannot even buy a Mercedes-Benz, because a good Mercedes-Benz is over 10 million now. So talk less of maintaining that. So it's really, really hard actually. But if you strive into business and you get it right, that might be a clock for a month. And you're up there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that is, like you said, legitimate business. We've listened to. It's exciting sometimes when you hear people like you who are telling you, "Oh, I made my first 10 million at 25," and some of us are like, "God, when?" However, it's exciting that you are saying this, and I'm sure it's inspiring young people listening to you right now, knowing that there is so much potential in country. But when you look at people who often separate business from politics, meanwhile politics, by the way, determines everything. But you know, I'm in business, I don't want to get my hand dirty in politics. But you are doing different. You are actively participating, involving in politics to ensure that young people are participating as well, to carve the kind of future that they want. How are you able to still delve into politics and lend your voice in politics while being a businessman?
Basically, like I said, I'm a solution seeker. I see myself like trying to solve all kind of problem I see going forward. And at this point in time, I'm not done with the business space, yes, but at this point in time, I feel the political space needs some kind of my experience out there. Am I going into politics to lead business? No. Can I combine both? Yes, perfectly. Because it's high time we see how to drive in the Nigerian political space. People, I'll call on all young, experienced, intelligent young persons to join their hands towards fighting this goal. Because whether you like it or not, this is our country, and Nigeria it is. If you go out to other countries, 60, 50, you come back here. If you don't come back here alive, you come back here with your corpse. Give or take, you'll be buried here in the country. So if you don't make your country a better place, who will? You want someone from the US, someone from the UK to come and do that? They won't actually. They're only going to take the resources here and go back to their country and make it a better place. So for me, if we don't join our hands to advocate for this, and anywhere I go, I always preach this. I tell young people, please, let's join our hands and see politics it is. Let's see how we could solve. At least create a space. We might not get it right now, but we might actually start something that our kids will come and get right. So it's our country. That's the beautiful thing. Nigeria is my country, and if I'm going to leave this country for anything, I'm just going to go there and visit, see how lifestyle, go and steal something from there and bring it back here and make here an extra one.
Okay, so yesterday I had a conversation with another politician here on the platform, and I was discussing Nigerian young people in 2023. During the general elections, youth participation was really significant, but it was segregated, sort of. There was no unity of purpose per se. So when you look at the landscape right now, economic challenges is getting everyone back into doing what they have to do just to survive. What your perception, if 2027 falls on us right now, will we see that active participation of young people, or would you say they are disillusioned at the moment, or would there be more serious about campaigns that question and criticize manifestos, just so that we see, the kind of leadership that we require, deserve, or desire?
So basically, for the young people trying to drive our train back to 2023, yeah, they saw that as a problem, and all of them were out there trying to make that solution. Did they get the solution? Some people might say yes, some might say no, because give or take, a new government came into power, and trust me, the government came with its own policy. I'm not here to push up a government out so that way or there about, but brought up a policy that might be very, very hard to some persons. And give or take, it actually some people merited from this same government. Yeah, so what's the percentage that actually gained from it might be slight, but those are suffering from it are really a bit higher. But I would say something for free, that I could actually see that effort, that drive, that zeal from young people coming out there to actually make change, because that change has actually started. They now feel like, okay, to an extent, I can actually make my own, draw my quota.
Right.
So I feel they will actually come out. You might not actually get that kind of drive based on considering the situation. But the good thing about it is, we've killed the fact where a young man comes out in the polling booth and say, okay, he's coming there for money. Because before now, a lot of people come out there and
financial
wait for politicians to come and spray out money, and they pick up the money, and some of them will wait for you, get the money, snatch the money off your thing, and they'll go and vote whoever they want to vote. And you ask them, they'll tell you that money you just shared for it was ours, and truly it's theirs. Because where did the politicians get the money to spray? Why would you come to a polling booth to give money? So if you see that money, take it away and go and give your conscience to who you should give it to, and go to the right direction. I guess if we keep this driving, what that does is that it pushes them from trying to use that as a piece. They see that they actually are not going to see us like that cheap product they go to the market, the random market, to buy. So they might actually go back. Now when you're bringing up a candidate to you, they'll bring a very, very good candidate that is sellable. Because I used to tell people, if you're a Yoruba man and something is meant for a Yoruba man, and the only people that are available are Igbo men, Igbo, Hausa, Igala, and the rest, and a blind Yoruba man is there, they'll give it that Yoruba, because that title is for a Yoruba man, so they'll give it to the blind Yoruba man. So what does that tell you? That if you look at the political space, give or take, there are some positions that are meant for politicians. So if they look around and they can't find that intelligent, sound politician to give it to, they'll give it to the one that is available. So if you get into that space, you might actually be the person, the lucky person that will get to solve this country. Yeah, like we keep shouting. How do we make solution? How do we solve this problem? Is we make ourselves available.
Make yourself available. But I've also questioned the role of political parties in ensuring youth participation in politics, where sometimes I have criticized really badly this concept of consensus. It is not. I don't believe personally that it drives a healthy democratic process where people actually go there and vote. Some individuals sit on a board meeting or board table and say, you know what, let's decide to give this one and not this one. And when you look at the age bracket of those who have the influence to do that, they are not young people, and they do not trust young people enough to give it to young people. And so what do? They recycle their friends and age mates and all that in the system. Young people who have this question, I will pose it later to a guest that I'll be talking to in a bit. But for some of you who have opportunities to sit at those tables, are you agitating for young political participation? And when you do, what's the reception you often get?
Because the first question I'll ask anybody that question is thrown to, am I not young? I'm young. Am I old? If I'm old, then good. But if I'm young and the political party has actually given me that space to represent them, so I feel give or take. Like I said, the question is, who is that person to take it at that point? Everybody wants to sell a product that is buyable. It's demand and supply. Like if you go for a goods that the people want, so you actually have to assess.
But in the Nigerian political space, can you apply that where you know what this is undeniably the better option, and the people are allowed to pick? I mean, in the political party level. Does it happen? Because I see young people with the energies, with the good intentions, noble intentions, but consensus happened and the leaders of the political parties decided another person should be that should take that political role instead. And you go to primaries and you see the lineup of leaders that political parties have put together, and you're saying, wow. Because people really, delegates didn't pick those leaders.
Okay, should I say something?
Yes, by all means.
Like for real, give or take. You know, the problem is this. It's just trying to say, okay, we go in a space where we, in a sample population where we have 30, an age bracket between 25 to 30 and just 6. And we have that between 50 to 70 and they're 80, and someone within this age bracket comes out and say, I want to. The way we think is different from the way the other people think.
Absolutely.
So what do you expect? If you're put on the ballot, who will win?
Naturally.
So it still falls down to high participation. If we have a lot of youth there filling that space, we enjoy the higher space of the active population of the country.
Of course.
So if we have a lot of us within that space, it's going to go down to the ballot where we are going to be asked questions, and this one enjoys like say 200 and this one is just 6. Who takes it? The young person takes it.
Naturally.
That's
but when young people like you are supposed to be like forerunners and you sit at those tables with what you term political leaders, are you able to leave spaces for more young people so that in that deciding table there are more young people? Because at the end of the day, while you may have the masses of voters, the masses of political party members, I'm talking about a certain table where decisions are often made. Are you able to have a voice to say, you know what, I want to represent young people here, and I think we should give young people a chance?
Yes, that happens every day. Like funny enough, this little time I've actually joined the space, I've met a lot of for me, I would say, okay, I want to see these people as mentors in the political space. People that sounds like at this time they are tired. They actually not. They don't have that strength to actually do the whole run. So they even want the younger ones to come and take up the battle. But who is that young person here? You want to raise the baton to someone else, and you don't have you just give it to someone else someone within your range that wants to run. That's what it is. But basically, I could actually see with the sample coming out, especially within the FCTI, with the sample coming out in the next election, I guess the age bracket within the young age should be within 30 to 45.
Yeah.
So I see, I guess a lot of the candidates falls within that range.
But when you hear older politicians say, "Oh, okay, I mean, we understand why young people should take up the reins of power, but they are not experienced enough," how does that make you feel?
Yes, give or take. Like I always tell people, like you have to make a lot of mistakes because you get it right. Some people are ready to allow you go there and learn. So nobody was born on an island.
True.
So you don't expect someone to come here, you want to get into political space and just start doing miracle. No.
That's true.
And give or take, you should have a mentor. Like I say, I have a lot of mentors in politics, and I will tell them.
But we have taken the conversation to social media and the role that social media plays during elections. And you know that the drivers of technology and social media in Nigeria are young people. do you think that we have understood the responsible usage of this very important but absolutely also damaging tool? And looking forward, what would be your advice to young people listening to you as to the more responsible way of using social media to determine our collective future?
For me, I would say social media, it's actually a great tool, but we young people, sometimes we tend to abuse it a lot. For me, I don't think, I'll say no, you're not using it, right?
Right.
Because, yeah, it's actually a tool that we're actually supposed to use. And it's supposed to actually be our weapon. That's why when people say, okay, young people, you bring a young candidate and we are who is all more active. The elderly ones are trying to dive into this thing that is ours. Since we claim that knowledge is theirs, this is ours. We could actually use this weapon against them. But what we rather use it for something else. Rather we use it trying to castigate a particular person instead of building a brand, actually. Because for me, whatever you sell, this is something that everybody can see. Nobody can deny you of it. If you're out there and the next thing that happens now, if you look at the crime rate now within the country, that's reduced. Why? Do you know why? Because the next thing the next man tells you, someone that wants to collect something from you, maybe a bribe or something, next thing you say, don't even take me on social media, don't take me on camera and the rest. So because of that, the fear for that already is even actually trying to make our country a better place.
Okay.
So for me, I feel we young people, we should actually come out and see as much as we can actually use this weapon that is ours to actually make ourselves stronger and greater.
I mean, one other thing, Nigeria has a population of over 60%. I mean, the data and statistics these days we are unable to know, but over 60% of young people under 35. If this demographic becomes more politically active, what are the realistic?
The next president is going to be 30
You didn't let me land.
The next president is going to be 30
You didn't let me land.
That's what it is.
Right.
Because if this population, if you're talking of a population that has over 200 and something million Nigerians,
and
we
more
say
than 60%.
No, let's use 60. Let's use
Right.
60. 60% is about 120.
Right.
If I'm not wrong, 120. If 120 million comes down and vote for one young person, let's say not 120. I don't want 120. 40 million. Come out. Vote for Mr. Tunde that is 29 and want to give him president. All of us are out there to do it.
I'm telling you.
The next president will just congratulate one young man and say, come there and change the country.
But I also saw recently, I think it was the Nigerian Electrification Regulatory Commission or Council, okay, where the president had nominated a very young man. I think he's 35, and social media went rife. I looked at the young people who were criticizing the appointment. These are young people who in one vein are saying, you know what, let young people let young people lead. And when that opportunity brings itself, they do not support young people. They say he's too young for such a what they call important sector of our economy.
Basically, it's just sad that we should all see ourselves as Nigerians. Because if I'm not fighting this man because we're not of the same tribe, I'm fighting him because we're not in the same religion, and that should not actually come to play anywhere, any day. We should actually see what the person is bringing on decks, allow him to make mistakes, correct him on the lane.
Exactly.
Yeah, like give that person that opportunity to make mistake. Correct him the first time. If it doesn't work, we try the second time. It doesn't work, then we can actually come and drag him wherever we can. Not just drag him at the point where he's just someone that is just appointed today and you're dragging him tomorrow. What do you expect? He already goes into the office with pressure. He's trying to make you happy, trying to draw a lot instead of getting to concentrate on his job. He just football as a typical story. They will tell you when they buy a new player, they'll tell you allow him to rest. Give him his time. Maybe after 2-3 seasons, you see him performing.
Exactly. At that time, you can have the basis to criticize him or otherwise. Thank you so much for being part of today's edition of Joy Live. And I will be calling you to come discuss more as the political movie or drama unfolds even better. I know consultations and engagements are ongoing at the moment. Thank you once again.
Thank you. You see me, I'm always available.
Oh, absolutely. And thank you for being available to Joy Live. We've been discussing with Honorable Stanley Osynachi Ihuoma, the political analyst, and so much more. But this is where we end this segment of the conversation. Still speaking on that topic, we would have yet another guest, this time a youth leader of a political party. We're talking about how young people have added or rather helped political parties to shape this conversation we're having today. youth participation. Like I told you, we are still discussing youth participation, how we can inspire young people to join the political space and determine the leaders that will bring the Nigeria of our dreams. We are being joined now by Dr. Uche Chukwuma Ogbonna. He's a Nigerian politician, businessman, and philanthropist who currently serves as the national youth leader of the Social Democratic Party. He is a fellow of the Institute of Human Resource Management with a career that reflects a deep commitment to youth empowerment, national development, and inclusive governance. Through his leadership and philanthropic initiatives, he continues to champion progress, equity, and opportunity for all Nigerians, especially young people who remain the largest demographic bloc in the country. This time, the conversation of voter registration, we'll be having the conversation on voter registration, youth participation, and preparations towards 2027 elections, as a lot is intensifying. And where is the SDP in all of this? We have talked about it even on this show here, where political parties seem to be having what they call internal rifts. We've had parallel governance, but we would have the first hand from Dr. Ogbonna. What's going on with the SDP? Welcome to the studio.
Thank you so much for having me.
Right. So first of all, political parties I don't need to to define it, but are very viable tools to getting us to that leadership that will inadvertently bring about the leadership that we want.
Yeah.
But in Nigeria, we keep recording rifts here and there. It's almost as if after elections you expect chaos in the political parties. And it's been very funny. Accusations have been going back and forth. The current administration is trying to cause rift and all of that. All that we will get into, and I'm very excited to have you here on the show today. But let's start with the continuous voter registration that's ongoing across the country.
Yeah.
What do you perceive? Are you happy that young people are once again seeing the need for this? Does it end at this registration? Is there something else you would like to tax them for? Because after having the card, there's so much more that's necessary.
Okay, thank you so much. I want to reflect back from 2023 general election. You know, I think the last election was the first time the young people really stood up for themselves.
Okay.
And there are two events that brought them together. The two protests that I had in this country was able to empower them to understand that they have a strength for them themselves. So they are already aware that they have the strength, they have the numbers to determine who becomes the president or who becomes the governor, who becomes whatever in this country. What is happening now in the voter registration is not, the awareness is already there inside them. And what you need to do, that's why we have a lot of work to do before the 2027 general election, in order to enlighten them more on the need for them not to sell their vote, because the present government is weaponizing poverty. They have now understood that the youth and the young people have this strength, and they've been able to understand they can vote and their vote can count. So they're now using another tactics, which is making them, after school you don't have work to do, you are unemployed, you don't have food to eat, and when they come to the
and you think it's this administration that's
it's not. It started from I wouldn't say this administration started it, but it's now like after the 2023 general election. As I'm just giving you a trajectory,
right,
a profile of what really happened. Now the development that you understand, I'm on the field. The youths are already aware that they have the strength, they have the mindset, but the present rulers of the political leaders of this country have understood that these guys, I think they are becoming aware of their strength. So,
which is a good thing.
Yeah, which is a good thing, but they don't like it. Because before now, I'll give you an example. When you go to my polling unit to vote, you see only 50, 100 people.
Right.
But now in the last election, I had over 800 people in the line.
And is that a bad thing for any politician?
It's a good thing for Nigeria, but the politicians do not want it that way, because the ballot box snatching will not be possible for you again. You cannot snatch a ballot box where they have 800 people on the queue. But when you have less people that come to vote, you can cause mayhem. You can take the ballot box. You can go somewhere, tear the voters voters sheet, thumbprint it, and stuff the box. But when you come to a voting strength and you see more than 800 people, you will not be able to do that.
And in spite of all of this, we also recorded, unfortunately, financial inducement in this polling booth. In spite of the numbers, we saw a brazen intimidation of voters. There were several flaws during the elections, but I would like us to go back a bit. You talked about the 2023 general elections and the turnout, how young people were aware of what their role and civic responsibilities are to their country.
Yeah.
However, do you think that it determined, because we've heard politicians say it turned out, I mean, not even just politicians, when you saw the results, in spite of the registrations that happened, rather, the turnout was really low. 29.7 voters eventually. So what happened there? What is the challenge that made rife young people who were all pumped up about elections eventually not go out to vote, in spite of the advocacy that all of us did in 2023?
Okay, this is a process. The last election was the first. Electoral awareness is like a process, like a school. When you continue to go, you continue to develop. I went for a program, one international program, then I said, in every election season in Nigeria is different. What happened in 2023 is not what's going to happen in 2027.
Absolutely. We are the most dynamic country, if you ask me.
And our electoral awareness and process continue to develop, whether you like it or not. The way we conducted the election in 2015 is different what happened in 2023. And 2027 is going to be higher. What really transpired in 2023, a lot of young people were aware, they came out and they casted their votes. And that sensitization that I want to tell you now is that this time around, we now understand that you need to sit down and protect your vote. This is another caveat. Now, we found out again that after voting, the polling unit agent is very important. You must be able to have people that will stand the test of time to make sure that you monitor your vote is counted and protected. A lot of people came to the queue. 1 million, 2 million after casting your vote. You leave, somebody will go to the collection center and change the figure. It happened in 2023 election. So that's why people are annoyed. After voting, I know in some polling units, the ruling party did not even get, they got 0 votes. But when they will now bring you see them having the
you know that?
Of course.
There were polling units where the ruling party got 0.
Let me tell you. If you come to I'm from the southeast. When you come to the southeast, the way the voting was, you'll be shocked. And at the end of the day, when they bring out the result or bring out whatever is happening for like in Lagos, you yourself will think, I was part of the people that counted this vote.
I'm not surprised that they got nothing. But I'm saying that in spite of political parties that had all their observers right there was the media, there were security and all of that. Anybody could be that brazen to say, you know what, we didn't have any vote here, but we would doctor the result. If that happened, what else is there for the electorate? You as one who participated, observed, and was actively in the process, what did you do to ensure that people were caught, punitive measures were meted?
That's what I'm saying. There are two stages in election. One is after voting, the counting is done, the results is announced. 2 is taking those result sheets and take it to the collection center. Most of those mutilations are done at the collection center. And at the collection center, you'll be shocked. A lot of security people will be there. They will not allow you to enter except you are so bold. You'll be able to force yourself in to make sure that the result you collected from the polling unit is what they are announcing at the collection center. And moreover, the last election, everybody were just happy that they were going to transmit. And at the end of the day, there was this glitch of a thing. That's why you come to a polling unit, after uploading the National Assembly, you want to upload the presidency, you will now see error. The thing will be showing error. People were just like, what is all this? So it's a process that is developing in Nigeria, and I believe that in 2027, I don't want the young people of Nigeria to be discouraged. The electoral process in Nigeria is developing itself, because constitutionally, we don't have provision for independent candidature.
Yet. And I know the House of Rep member that's pushing for that bill.
I think we need to do that, because political parties, one of the problems we have now in political parties is lack of ideology, lack of commitment. That's why you find out that political parties need to work more to see that they enlighten people, because this is our duty. I will tell you the truth. Apart from INEC, the political parties also need to stand to enlighten the awareness of electorate, the need for them to stand to vote.
So how far have you gone on that awareness? Because that what you're just mentioning, the ball is in your court.
Yes, we before now, if not because of the crisis in the party, we have this process of creating leaders within the party. Because the national chairman, Alhaji Shehu Musa Gabam, when we came in, have this mentality that the youth need to be involved. They need to be part of the party process. You don't just call them at the day of election to come and vote.
Exactly.
Make them a part of the process. That's why if you see most of the state chairmen were more than 80% of the state chairman of SDP before now were young people. It was deliberate. And it was trying to empower a lot of young people to be part of the process, to learn through the ropes.
Right.
So that you will be more committed that you are part of the process of the election. It gives you more strength, it gives you more, and during confidence,
right.
And during election too, you find out that a lot of young people were given privileges to be part of the election, even when you don't have money, because funds is one of the things that you use to limit young people from participating in the election.
Absolutely. Now we know that political parties are gatekeepers to our democracy. Sure. Now the question is, where is the SDP as we speak? We are hearing coalition here and there. We're hearing alignment and consultations and engagements. All your political talks are ongoing, but a lot of political parties have internal rift. Yeah. Where is the SDP as we speak?
As I really know, SDP is a party of equity, social justice.
Now you talk.
Yes. And we believe in fairness, believe in constitution. It's unfortunate that we find ourselves at this point where few individuals that do not have that ideology of strength of party development coming to try to disrupt the activities of the party. But INEC, being the body that regulates, supervise, and monitor political parties, have come out to say no, this is what it's supposed to be. The national chairman of the party is Alhaji Shehu Musa Gabam. Whatever process you've done is illegal, is unconstitutional, because we wrote the party, we have a constitution. So if you are an organization and you have a constitution, the constitution guides you. You don't just wake up one day and circumvent the constitution because you have external power that is supporting you. Like in our constitution in section 13, section 14, the national chairman presides over every meeting. You don't just wake up one day and just hold meeting and say you suspend the chairman, you suspend the youth leader. It doesn't work that way. Because if you have that to happen, the party will be under anarchy.
Exactly.
Now you started unconstitutional activities. Other people, the state chairman also started the unconstitutional activities, and they also suspended the 10 of it. But I'm so glad with the INEC, which is the electoral body of the internal electoral monitoring body, that had a stand and said no, we have to protect the political parties. Let the right thing be done. If you have a process, you invite us, we abide to it, and if there's a change of leadership, we definitely change the guard. We will change the leadership, but you don't go to the backyard to do what you need to do.
Right.
So now the chairman, if you find out a lot of people are saying that he's quiet,
exactly.
You call him, he's not saying, because see, you don't destroy a house that you built. We've labored enough to bring that party to where it is. It was nowhere. Although it was an old party, but leadership matters a lot. Exactly. So that's why he said he doesn't want to come out to start speaking, because when he starts speaking, a lot of controversy will come up and the party will continue to go down. So he believes that at the end of the day, those people that want to destroy the party will come back to their senses and understand that it's all about institution, it's not about personal differences. Because if you protect the institution is going to stand a test of time. But if you want to bring it because of your personal interest, fine and good.
Okay, well, with that explained, I would like to know where you stand in terms of the coalition. The coalition seems to be gathering, and I know it was announced, it was reported that a lot of the SDP members joined the coalition ADC. It was speculated also in the media that the former governor of Kaduna State, being a member of the SDP at the time, was hoping that the SDP will house this coalition. Where are are you on coalition talks? Is the talks even still ongoing, or are you going to become part of the coalition, like dissolve the SDP to be part of the coalition? What is going on in that regard? Come 2027, what's the plan?
You know, I've been part of the coalition meetings several times. I've gone to series of meetings where we discuss about this coalition before they finally adopted ADC. The thing is this, in politics, it's all about interest.
Absolutely.
Good. But above that interest, I think you also need to bring to bear the interests of Nigerians, not your personal interest. So when we found out that the drivers of the ADC or the coalition per se is not really bringing forth the interests of Nigerians, SDP now said, okay, fine, I think we need to stay back. Okay, let's see what is happening. That's why you see even the former governor, even P2B himself, have not joined ADC. He said after the by-elections, they will let them watch how the thing is going. Now, the way the country is as at this point, I think every politician need to put apart his differences and see that the country is working. SDP is not collapsing into ADC.
Okay.
Coalition is there. We can have an alliance, but SDP, we have our stand and we said, okay, the way the thing is, because there are some requests they made. They say that they have to dissolve the entire National Working Committee. Everybody need to go so that they will not take over. The chairman said no. The appropriate thing to do to avoid crisis in the party. Come into the party. Let us build the party. We have a convention. You have no leadership to take over. Why don't you do it that way? Because they rejected. They still went to ADC. Look at crisis everywhere. Crisis in SDP. Crisis in the
ADC.
Why? Because you refuse that patience to come into a political system, develop the political system. You have followers. Develop the political system and take over gradually, and that's all.
But that what would be in it for them? They want to have absolute control of any political party they come and take over, because you know how it works. You know the dynamism of our.
Why is it going?
Well,
there's crisis everywhere.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Even in the president, as I said earlier, every political arena, any political time is peculiar. The way the politics was going during Buhari is different from this thing.
Absolutely.
Let me tell you something. Every actor, you should be able to understudy him, understanding the political trajectory, what you should do. If you give a space to the present government, you will not be able to survive.
Speaking about space to the present government, we also saw that overriding the media tape did as a gale of defection that also happened, and we have simultaneous rifts within political parties as well. If you tell us what you think of 2027, do you think political parties, yours included, will get their act right to be an opposition to the ruling APC?
Definitely. It's also a test of time. One of the process, what is happening now is trying to test the strength of political parties, because as soon as you start generating that traffic, start being a big political party, definitely interests will clash, and there will be one or two crises that will come in. SDP is going to bounce back strong, and we are going to be in the ballot box, and I know we are going to have a very strong presidential candidate at the end of the day. It's just, party administration is about the leadership. As long as you have a strong leader that is not distracted, that is not dissuaded by attentions here and there, you find out that the political system is going to be strong, especially the political party. So I know that's why it's very difficult for them now, because even the people that are claiming, you can't hold the ground. If you don't know it, you don't know it. If you don't have that mindset of strong character, and you keep collecting money from left, right, and center, you will never be a strong opposition. Strong opposition requires strong character.
Exactly.
It requires sacrifice. To be an opposition, you need to sacrifice. There was one time when we were in the meeting, I always ask the national secretary, at my age, you're already a two-time minister. Why don't you sacrifice to see that we develop this political
as well? Exactly.
I asked him, at my age, you're already a two-time minister. What is it you're looking for? Why don't we honor you as an elder statesman?
Dr. Uchechukwu Chukwuma Ogbonna, thank you so much for being part of the program. We would get definitely, I mean, political activities are beginning, so these conversations would definitely happen again, and I'm happy you were here to, give us a good background as to what's going on and the hope for the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
This is where we end today's edition of Joy Asonye Live. It's been wonderful having this conversation. Until next time when we come your way, do have yourself a wonderful weekend.